Hello beautiful people, hope you are fine and doing well. Please, before we start, bring your cup of coffee because it's going to be a long video and a very information dense video. So as you know, in the last two episodes we talked about, the first one was how to architect a secure CI/CD pipeline, how to build like the blocks that are necessary to build the CI/CD pipeline, a secure one. If in case you don't know, this is a DevSecOps series where we try to build a secure CI/CD pipeline. And in the second one, we talked about how we run the VPS, which provider we choose, what specifications we are choosing, and how to log in into the VPS as a root user using SSH. So, and in the series, the third one, we will talk about how we can log down on the SSH and make it more secure, that we change the ports, we disable root access and root login, and then we will go on with the firewalls settings and also the SSH daemon configs. So let's go into it and hope you will enjoy the series. Stay focused. What you are waiting for? Let's go. So back to it, guys. As we can see, what we are going to do, the first thing is patching the VPS. We will update all the dependencies and links to the indexes of the packages, and then we're gonna update these packages on the machine. This is really the first thing you need to do on any new VPS to avoid vulnerable packages, to avoid old packages or anything else. Second step we are going to do is we are going to create a user other than root, and we are gonna test the login of that user. Of course, assume you already watched the previous series, where I'm gonna put the link down in the description, and also you can see it up there on the videos, where we set up the user and we have the public and private keys. And there we are going to configure the firewall, the uncomplicated firewall for the VPS. This is like a kind of an easy way to deal with firewalls. It's a tool or a package that is provided on Linux to deal easier with the firewall. It handles all the behind stuff, like all the IP tables and all the things that you don't have to deal with. So basically what we are going to do is, let's say this is the VPS, excuse my writing and my drawing, sorry, and this is the wall between the word and the VPS. We are going to block any connections coming to the VPS, okay, that are not port 20, that are not port 2222, because by default SSH use the port 2022, and this is really a huge attack surface, because all the attackers try to attack VPS machines with the port 2022 on the SSH, and so we are going to change it to 2002 and block any other port or connection coming to the VPS, and also we are going to allow all the packages or connections going out of the VPS. So this is what we are going to do. And the fourth thing we are going to do is the most important thing in my opinion, which we are going to edit the SSH daemon config. Now SSH, there is a client side and there is a server side, and the client side is basically what we are using, SSH, to connect to VPS, and the VPS itself contains the SSH server on the VPS itself. Okay. We are going to change the port. We are going to not allowing root login. We are disabling the password login. We will allow only one user to log in, which is we. We will change, sorry, I touched the mic. And we will change the ideal time when you're going to log out and the number of logins and all of these. So let's get into it. Okay. First of all, you will bring your terminal as we used to do, and we will go to the SSH folder. Yeah. Okay, we remember we have the DevSecOps project, private and public key, and we will need to log in now as a root user just for now, so we can start changing the VPS settings and everything. So we remember we use this command to log in as a root user. We will specify the private key because in the folder we have many private keys. Yeah, we will do what was it, DevSecOps project. Yeah, this is the private key, and then we do root and the public IP address of the droplet or the VPS. So we'll do that, and we should be able to successfully be as a root. Yeah, we are successfully here as a root user. Now what we need to do is the first step, as we said, we are going to patch the VPS. So we will write the sudo apt update. We are updating the dependencies that we will later use the command upgrade, so we will fetch only the new packages. Yeah, and then we will forward on with the sudo apt upgrade. Here we're going to provide an option called -y, which is -y, sorry, which will just say, okay, accept my agreement. So yeah, now we are updating all the packages. Okay, so back to it, guys. After the packages got updated, we just see some info that services are restarted. We'll clear the screen, and now we will start the process of adding the user to the VPS. One thing to keep in mind, we will need to add the user. It will be like this, adding the user, and then we will add him to the group of sudos, so he can execute sudo command, and then we will give him the SSH folder. We will create the SSH folder inside his home directory, so we can SSH into the machine, and then we will probably change the permission to the SSH folder so that the SSH can actually access it, the SSH server or the daemon. So the first command you will start with is basically add user, and that is Ahmed. You just create your own password, you retype it, and I don't need a full name, room number, work phone, home phone, other. Is the information correct? Yes. Okay, now a new user is added, and now the second step we need to do is we will add me, the user, to the sudo group. So I'm gonna say append group sudo Ahmed. So successfully now Ahmed is in the group of sudos. He can execute sudo command, And now we need to create the home directory and the SSH folder config. So sudo make directory. If it does not exist, we call it home, and Ahmed SSH. Yeah, because we need to access the VPS as an SSH we're using SSH. And then we will create the authorized keys as we have in root in the previous video. So we'll just use the touch command to create a txt file or text file. Same thing, home, Ahmed. By the way, I can autocomplete, but I love to type because, you know, now in the age of AI, we just crazy about autocomplete, letting AI do the stuff for us. And I hate it. So now we have the authorized keys, and if we just make sure that it exists there, yeah, we have it there. Very good. Now what we need to do is we want to give all the read and write and execute to the folder SSH. So we can write to the SSH folder, and the SSH server can read it and write it. So basically we will give 700 and to the SSH folder. Folders needs execute permission, and 7 means we have 4 for the reading, and the 3 for the 4 for the read, 2 for the write, and 1 for the execute, and that is in total 7. We also need to give the read and write permission to the authorized keys. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I forgot this. 600 authorized keys, and yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, and we need also to change the owner of the file to Ahmed, actually, because we created as a root user, and we need to give the ownership to Ahmed. So we write this command, we change the ownership to Ahmed, and then the folder is SSH and whatever inside that folder. And if we want to confirm that it actually now belongs to Ahmed, we use the list command with and we can see Ahmed owns the files and the folder. Now what we need to do, we need to add the public key that we have on our machine to the authorized keys. So we will go to the SSH and we will take not the private key, sorry for that. I need to blur this. So we'll take the public key, we will copy it, and then we go back to the terminal. We will open the authorized keys, home, probably, yeah, home, Ahmed SSH folder, authorized keys, and then we will just put it here, and we will save that, and we're gonna go out. Yeah, I think it should be good, and we can test now login by the new user Ahmed, and it should work perfectly. Here we go. Now we logged in with the user Ahmed. Let's move into the second section, which is configuring the uncomplicated firewall. Uncomplicated firewall is a wrapper basically around the IP tables and the NFT tables. It manages all the backstage stuff, so you don't have to deal with the IP tables, blocking the IP, blocking the port, and all of this stuff. There are basically 3 layers of firewalls in general when you're dealing with a VPS on a provider platform. There is the cloud provider firewall, and the application or the container firewall, and the internal firewall. What we are going to do now is we check the firewall current status, and we can do that by sudo uncomplicated firewall status purpose. It's inactive, so the firewall is inactive, and we need to start dealing with it, and we start to verify that IPv6 is also supported on the firewall. So in order to do that, we can just do sudo nano and see default uncomplicated firewall. We can see that IPv6 is supported because our VPS support IPv6. Then we are going to set the default policies. As we said, we want to deny any incoming connections and allow any outgoing connections. So in order to do that, we can do uncomplicated firewall default deny incoming. Yeah, so now any incoming will be deny. We use deny because deny, it will drop the packages silently, the connection that comes to the VPS, and it doesn't let the attackers knows that the package failed or dropped, because if you use the reject, it will tell the attacker that actually you rejected the connection, which is we don't want to. And then we will just allow any outgoing connection. Yes, that's very good now. And now we need to actually let the firewall allow the 2022 port connections, which is the SSH one, because later on we will disable that, and we will add 2222, and if we immediately activate the firewall, it will block us to connect again. So we just need to make sure of this step. Allow 2022, and we will just add a comment that this is temporary. Default SSH remove after migration. Now the rules are updated, which is very good, and when we see v6, it also means the rule added to the IPv6. Now we need also to allow the future port, as we said, 2222. We will add the comment. By the way, here I will not use allow, I will use the limit. The reason behind this is this smartly will activate the rate limit. And yeah, we will do this custom port rate limited, basically. Yeah, okay, this is very good. And now we will actually enable the firewall, sudo uncomplicated firewall enable. Yeah, it's okay. This is what I was talking about, because if we didn't allow the port 2022, we would be logged out. Yeah. Okay, no, I need to do yes. Okay. If we didn't add the 2022, you will be logged out actually. So watch out from this step. Yeah, now it's very good. Now let's verify that the rules are set actually. Yes, this is very good. Now we have the 2022 and 2222. I don't know why I keep saying 2022. Yeah. We will not remove the 22 now. We will do that later. Yeah, we also need to enable the logging. This is very important step. So later on you can see when the attackers try to brute force the machine, you will identify the IP addresses, you will identify the patterns. We will use fail to ban tool so it can watch all of these logging stuff. Yeah. Now what we can actually do, we can try to connect, or we can try to test that only port 2222 and 22 are actually working. Other than that, should be blocked. So we can do the command tnc and the port 8000, and we can see like we will have a failed connection at the end because we only allowing to 22 and 2222. Now finally we can move on to the editing the finally we can move to the editing the SSH daemon config, and we want to allowing SSH into the machine only by the port 2222. We will not allow root login. We will not allow password authentication, only public key, and we will have max sessions of 2 per connection per user, and authorize only only 3. So let's jump into this, and we can see the connection failed to the port 8080. So let's do that. Before you do that, you need to back up the SSH daemon config. So in case you mess up with it, SSH to etc, and then we call it just backup. The daemon config are existed inside the SSH folder, and they are called SSH daemon config, and we can just copy that to make a backup of it. Then we need to open the config file actually, and now we can start changing the config files. What I recommend to have all your specific configuration at the beginning, so like this way. For example, we can write this custom DevSecOps configs. This is a comment. I assume you already know this. So now we will allow the port 2222 and permit root login as no. We are disabling the root login, and password authentication as no, and we will not allow empty passwords. So now we have only the port 2222, no root login, no password authentication, no empty passwords, and we will allow only the users Ahmed to be able to SSH into the VPS, and maximum tries to authentication is a 3, and max sessions per user is 2, client alive interval 300 seconds. This is like after 300 seconds you will get kicked out if you are inactive, and client alive count max as 2, and then login grace time as 30. This is when you try to log in and it asks you for a password, for example, and you don't type it for 30 seconds you will get kicked out, so it doesn't hang on the VPS. And we will just disable the X11 forwarding. We don't need that. And let's just write a command end of custom. Let's save that and let's go back. So now we need to validate. There is a step where you can validate your configs are correct before actually make them active. And in order to do so, we can just write sudo sshd daemon t, and we can see this is very good sign. It says line 4 bad option password authentication. So we need to go back and 1, 2, 3, 4. This one has somehow misspelled. So yeah, we are missing authentication, the N. And if we save it, voila, it's good. Yeah. Now we can reload the SSH. Please do not restart, because restart might kick you out. And we can do systemctl for the services, and we reload SSH. In this step, in modern Ubuntu distributions, we need to actually also restart the daemon itself and also the socket service. So we have the changes applied, daemon reload, and then also restart actually here the ssh.socket systemctl. Now we are good. Now let's actually verify that we are only allowing the port 2000 on the 2222 on the now it's active, or the SSH is active, and we can see here only 2222. And if you want to make sure, you can do sudo sshtlnp, and we can grab the SSH. This command actually shows the running network sockets, and we can see we only have 2222. Yeah, we can now actually verify that we are unable to log in as root first anymore. So exit, and let's exit from here. And now if we try the alt command where we were trying to log in as root, basically this one, we should fail basically. And as you can see, connection refused. This is a really great step. This will reduce the attack surface on the VPS a lot, and I really recommend it. And we can also try actually, you can see also port, we can try to connect by the default port to 22, sorry, and we shouldn't be able. Again, connection refused. Also, if we try the user Ahmed, it will refuse that. Only if we specify 2222, voila, we are connected. And let's verify that also we are exit, we are unable to use the password authentication. This is the really important step. So we will do preferred authentication, and we specify its password. Bad configuration option, preferred, I should be right, authentication. Again, permission denied, public key. So yeah, and now this is all, I think, yeah, for this part of the series. I hope you really liked it, and I hope it was dense and very useful information. Next step, we will try to install fail2ban, and we will try to protect the VPS from the brute force logins, brute force attacks. We will harden a lot of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and comment and the support. Take care and see you in the next series.